media capital of the world.
Good morning and welcome to the Burbank City Council's annual reorganization meeting of December 14th, 2020. In order to balance the health risks associated with COVID-19 and the public's right to conduct the people's business in a transparent and open manner due to the current state of emergency and in the interest of public health and safety, council members will be participating in an online City Council reorganization meeting. The public will not be able to attend today's meeting. In lieu of in-person attendance, the city is providing alternatives for viewing and participating in today's meeting. Our phone line is open for public comment, and members of the public may join the queue by calling in now at 818-238-3335. Today's invocation will be led by Father Francis Mendoza of St. Finbar Catholic Church, followed by the flag salute by the Burbank Police Department's Honor Guard.
Our help is in the name of the Lord who made heaven and earth. We pause for a moment of silence as we ask for an outpouring of God's Holy Spirit and wisdom upon our elected officials. Let us pray. O God, from whom all power comes, by whose divine will all must abide, we thank you for our civil liberties and freedom, for our opportunities and our privileges. We beg of you to bless, assist, and enlighten the City Council members of our great city of Burbank. May they prove worthy of the confidence placed in them by their fellow citizens. May they be just and upright in their thinking, honest in all their actions, and ever be guided by a true conscience in the legislation they propose or vote upon. Forgive us all our mistakes and selfish tendencies, and help prepare us by our good deeds for an eternal union with you. This we pray in God's holy name. Amen.
Will everyone please stand and remain standing for the flag salute, which was previously recorded at an earlier time.
Present arms. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order, arms!
Ms. Mullins, could you please take the roll call?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. For the last time, and my honor to call on Councilmember Gabaletti,
I'm here.
Councilmember Murphy.
Tim.
There
Tim.
you go.
He's here.
He's here. I
Turn
see
your
him.
mic, Tim.
Yes.
Present.
And Councilmember Talamantes.
Present.
Vice Mayor Frutos.
Good morning, Madam City Clerk. Happy to be here.
Good morning. And Mayor Springer.
Here.
Thank you.
Now is the time for oral communications. If anybody would like to address the City Council, please call now, 818-238-3335. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the council on today's reorganization. Ms. Mullins, do we have any callers on the line for public comment?
Madam Mayor, we don't have any callers on the lines, have been open for 10 minutes, so I think it's safe to close them now and proceed with the meeting.
Thank you. There being no public comment, I now declare the public comment period closed. Thank you for joining us here this morning for Burbank City Council reorganization. Burbank is a charter city with a council-manager form of government. There are 5 council members that form the legislative and policy-making body, and the city manager and executive team and staff that implement policies and goals that the council agrees on. We are the legislative and policy-making branch of our local government. Every year, we have council reorganization wherein a new mayor and vice mayor are nominated. And this year, we have 2 new council members and a city treasurer who will be sworn in. First, I'm very sorry for the loss of friends and family members to COVID, and I'd like to take a moment of silence to honor their lives. Thank you. I'm grateful for the team we've had during my mayoral term. City Council, staff, our residents, our nonprofits, and our faith-based organizations. Thank you for helping provide the very basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter for our residents. Thank you also for very much needed diversions. We've all made sacrifices and adjustments. Thank you for your kindness and for helping one another. Thank you for coming together as the Burbank community. Over the course of a lifetime, an accumulation of incredibly joyous times and also tragedy, trauma, and hardship accumulate. My experience is that we use it. We're stronger. We carry it forward in a positive way for the evolution of humankind. We don't quit, we never, ever, ever give up. Please let's make a commitment to do that, to continue the vision, teamwork, collaboration, and evolution. There are many highlights of my term. I'll start with the most recent, anti-racism proclamation and resolution. Our very foundation. We pledge to work toward the common good in building a warm and welcoming community where all people of goodwill, regardless of race, color, gender, identity, or expression, religion, sexual orientation, national origin or ancestry, age, disability, marital status, physical appearance, political activity, and familial status can live, be free, and pursue happiness. Our community will have the opportunity to sign on to this and recommit. We can recommit every day. It's a part of our being and included in our legislative platform. Thank you to all who spoke up on this, your correspondence, and sharing your experiences. A highlight of my term, which has just recently come to fruition, is the Phase 2 of the Western Channel Bikeway. And the reason it is because it got its start back in 2009 when the Sustainable Burbank Commission first started. And Emily and I served on that board, and we supported the Burbank Bicycle Master Plan. And this project as you can see, has taken 11 years. At this point, it will open officially by the end of the year. And it's just been such a collaborative effort of City Council, staff, our residents, that neighborhood, groups like Walk Bike Burbank, with members like Patrick Dixon and Ken Lewis, who made that commitment and aren't here to see it through. But we can celebrate that for them. And I'm just so happy that we did have the stamina to finish that. I was just out there yesterday because a resident there, expressed a concern, and I will tell you that we remain committed to that, to the success of the Channel Bikeway Phase 2 for everybody. Another project that I consider a highlight, because I had actually nothing to do with it, except for I was a newly elected mayor, and I got to go help celebrate Warner Brothers' second century. And for me, it's very significant because it all started 30 years ago. And thanks to the vision of those who were around 30 years ago, for example, Tim Murphy, Tom Flavin, former mayor, Jack O'Neill, and some very, very young staff members who were here. And I think it points out the importance of continuing the vision, implementing the vision of those who come before us, and we can celebrate that and be grateful that they did it. And because of that, we'll have Warner Brothers for a second century, and also we'll have a Frank Gehry building in Burbank. And I just want to ask if that entitlement 30 years ago, if it was a piece of cake, right? No opposition. It just went very smoothly. And I think we can all be grateful for that in celebrating what those who came before us started, and we get to implement. Another project also that to me epitomizes the collaboration between council, staff, our residents, and within the constraints, within legal constraints, spatial constraints, the need for community benefits, mitigation, and the requirement of financial feasibility for it to even move forward. And that is 777 Front Street. And that it's all in my mind starting to come together, like with Phase 2 of the Channel Bikeway. It's right there now. And this vacant parcel of land has been vacant for 30 years. It's freeway adjacent. We had to make sure that it was California Air Resources Board compliant in terms of mitigation, or it was a goal of mine, and I think that's the way it turned out. We were successful in about $33 million in community benefits of that project. And for me, it really points to the importance of council verbalizing our goals, agreeing on our goals. We had 6 goals at the start, and to follow through with those, because each of us, I don't know how to implement bikeways, or I don't have the legal background. And for example, there was the constraint of the Magnolia Power Plant and how nothing could be within 1,000 feet of that. So, and it's a very intricate puzzle that fills one of our goals, housing. It fills transportation and traffic goal because it's across the street from the transit station. And it also provides 69 units of affordable housing, and that was one of our goals. And that coupled with, or more than coupled with, the other projects that we approved, and also the Burbank Housing Corp we have about 90 units of affordable housing. And so that was helpful in fulfilling our goals. So we set those goals, and staff in our community helped us implement them. And I'm very grateful for that. And another project is Avion. It's not the way I thought it was going to be. You know, that land has been vacant for a long time, and it wasn't that what I envisioned, but it will be a nice addition to the city of Burbank, and we also have bike lanes on Hollywood Way right there on both sides. And for me, it's a lesson in, you know, I don't always, I don't always get my way, and it's not important that each of us individually get our way. Thanks, Jess. But the collaboration, we have a project that works, and that's good for our city, and we worked together on that, and we worked with our community, and I'm grateful for that. I'm very grateful for the Green Choice Program that that fits in with our sustainability goal, and that just about everybody in our community can participate in our goal of renewable energy, whether you live in a condo or an apartment. And we can, by participating for not a lot of cost, $6 to $10 a month extra on our utility bill, help move us forward towards our renewable energy goals. And another big one is the Complete Street plan that took a lot of community collaboration. Staff did a great job on that. We relied on their expertise to set up the community outreach, how it would all go together. And so now we can, looking forward, we're all ready. I mean, Vice Mayor Frutos brought up, when we were talking about the bus rapid transit, you know, how it must mesh with our Complete Street plan. And so that's very important and a high point. Another is the commitment to housing our homeless population, and the Scott Motel, we're not, you know, that doesn't look like it's going to go forward, but that was part of Judith Aranda's vision, and we stepped forward on that. It might not work out. We don't know for certain, but also our commitment for a storage facility for our unhoused population, and a place for them to put their belongings so they will accept shelter and that we can get them off the street. And our success in that so far, housing, you know, with Street Plus and our staff, our trained staff, helping them and get the support that they need. So there's just so much. But and some of these will come up as we go through the different department executives. But I'm just very grateful for my mayoral term. It's been a very interesting term, and I really appreciate all of your support of staff, our community, and for all the hard work, for keeping your chins up, everybody, and taking it as it comes, and not quitting, never ever. So let's move on to, I'd like to thank our elected officials, executive team, and key staff for all of their hard work, and present them with a small token of my appreciation. Thank you. Okay. First, Zizette Mullins, as city clerk, you wear several hats from ensuring public participation and transparency in the city's decision-making process to managing municipal records and overseeing the city's passport acceptance facility. Most importantly, you performed admirably this year in coordinating a consolidated election with the county that not only took place under exceptional circumstances, but also saw unprecedented voter turnout in the city of Burbank. We're grateful to you and your staff for the exceptional work you do. Thank you. Crystal Palmer, as our previously appointed and newly elected city treasurer, you have proven your talent at managing the city's public funds. COVID-19 has created much uncertainty, but the council and the city appreciate your diligent work in helping us navigate the financial impacts of the pandemic, keeping our investments safe and maximizing the city's investment portfolio in these precarious financial times. Thank you. Jennifer Becker, as Financial Services Director, you are the latest addition to the city's executive team. Previously, as Assistant Financial Services Director, you oversaw the city's budget process and capital improvement program. Your recent success with the city's CAFR makes us confident in your ability to lead the Financial Services Department through this year's upcoming budget cycle as the city navigates these challenging financial times. Bear with me 1 second. Ken Berkman, you joined the Burbank team as Director of Public Works in March and hit the ground running, helping city staff adapt to COVID-19 and providing for the continuation of counter services with necessary precautions. Most recently, you and your team have helped businesses operate outdoors in parklets and along San Fernando Boulevard. You oversee the efficient operation of wastewater and sewer services, street sweeping and solid waste collection, recycling and landfill disposal, public building and equipment maintenance, and traffic and parking management. We are excited to see where you'll take the Public Works Department in the year to come. Chief Garcia, as Fire Chief, you oversee the city's fire prevention and fire suppression efforts, as well as the provision of emergency medical services and our emergency management team. 2020 has been especially taxing on Burbank's fire department, as our firefighters have been called to battle fires across the state, while our EMS personnel have served as the frontline response during the COVID pandemic. The Emergency Management Division has also jumped into the action to secure personal protective equipment to keep city employees safe, to liaison with state and county officials on pandemic response, and to secure financial relief for the city from FEMA. You faced an extraordinary challenge this year, and we are grateful for your tireless efforts to keep our community healthy and safe. Marissa Garcia, you recently completed your first year as the city's Parks and Recreation Director, and we congratulate you on your many successes, including being named one of Business Life magazine's 2020 Women Achievers. You have also provided invaluable assistance to some of the most vulnerable in Burbank through home delivery of meals, through the city's elderly nutrition program, to pairing seniors in need with community volunteers through Project Hope. You oversee a large operation that involves aquatics, sports, and recreation offerings to the community, with many of these programs now available in a virtual format. Thank you to you and your team for all you do to help Burbank residents come out and be ready to play. Elizabeth Goldman, as Library Services Director, you oversee 3 libraries that are integral to the fabric of our community. The resources, education, and access to information that Burbank Public Library provides to our community is indispensable, even more so during this pandemic. The demand for library resources can be seen in the popularity of the library's curbside pickup and virtual programming, which has been very well received by the community. We are grateful that you are part of the executive team and look forward to the library's continued successes. Thank you. Kevin Gray, you serve as the city's Chief Information Officer, but recently you have taken over the role of producer and director of the city's online council meetings in the midst of all your hard work redesigning the city's website, improving IT's business processes, and providing IT support to city departments. Your team has forced to change gears when the pandemic hit and prepare the city for telework and online services. You have made IT a trusted partner in almost all aspects of city operations and continue to bring innovative ideas that ultimately help us better serve the constituents in our community. Chief LaChasse, as Chief of Police, you oversee a department that encompasses patrol, criminal investigations, parking enforcement, and the animal shelter. Your commitment to respect, integrity, and excellence has helped you successfully lead the department through some trying times in the past year, from civil unrest to the many challenges posed by COVID-19. Yet the Burbank Police Department has continued to demonstrate its commitment to all in our community, from developing a roadmap for community engagement to assisting Burbank's homeless population through the MHET team. Thank you for your efforts to protect and work in partnership with the Burbank community. Thank you. Dawn Roth Lindell, as a recent addition to our team, we are honored to have you as General Manager of Burbank Water and Power. With over 20 years of utility experience, we are glad to have you at the helm of one of the most reliable utilities in the nation. Your energy, enthusiasm, and positive attitude will help guide our utility as it continues to provide excellent water and electric services to our community and continues to seek ways to help customers weather the impacts of the pandemic. Betsy McClinton, as Management Services Director, oversees employment services, labor relations, and workers' compensation programs for the city. Betsy, you've led the charge in successfully negotiating for and implementing Council's labor savings initiatives to save millions in pension and workers' compensation costs. To add to your plate, COVID-19 forced you and your team to navigate complicated HR policies in response to ever-changing guidance from the county, state, and CDC. Ultimately, your hard work has contributed to the safety of employees, the financial stability of the city, and good relations with the city's labor groups. Thank you for all you do. Patrick Prescott, as our Community Development Director, you manage a team that handles planning, building, housing, economic development, and homelessness. Thank you for all your hard work helping the city navigate recent housing legislation, especially the introduction of ADUs to the Burbank landscape, and for supporting our businesses and residents through the city's economic recovery plan. CDBG programs for businesses and tenants, and streamlined online permit and plan processing. Under your leadership, your team has demonstrated their extraordinary ability to be nimble and pivot from one issue to another. And despite all the challenges we face with COVID, the city continues to attract retailers and businesses and is moving forward with major developments. As the Community Development Department undertakes the gargantuan effort of updating our long-range plans, the council and the city appreciate your commitment to not just build buildings, but build beautiful and thriving neighborhoods. Judy Wilkie, Assistant City Manager, provides support to the City Manager and City Council office. With 30 years of experience working for the city, she continuously keeps Burbank's best interests at heart, often working behind the scenes. She has countless demands on her time, yet faces every challenge with grace and poise. Never one to back down from providing help, guidance, and informed advice, she is an asset to city staff, constituents, and the council. During COVID, Judy has served as a key liaison between the city and the county and has been central to the city's efforts to aid and respond to residents and businesses and manage the financial impacts of the pandemic. Judy, thank you for your unwavering dedication to the city of Burbank. Simone McFarland, Public Information Officer, not only serves as the city's Assistant Community Development Director of Housing and Economic Development, but also oversees the city's Public Information Office. She has been key in the city's response to COVID-19, from helping to implement online council meetings to messaging the public on important updates to county and city orders and engaging the community on social media. Just recently, Simone and her team helped carry out the city's very first virtual State of the City. Thank you, which was a massive success. Thank you, Simone, for all your hard work. Sandy George serves as Executive Assistant to the Mayor and Vice Mayor, and assists with proclamations, certificates, and the ceremonial duties of these two council positions. Sandy, thank you for all your help this year to keep us on track with our countless virtual meetings and for representing our office with professionalism and tact. Danny Mastrangelo serves as Executive Assistant to Council, maintaining Council's schedules, coordinating agenda packet distributions, and providing day-to-day support for our Council. Danny is always ready to offer help and frequently assists us with technical questions and computer glitches. Thank you, Danny, for all your help this year. Christine Alice serves as the administrative analyst and provides support for the city manager's office and the city council. Christine assists with legislative correspondence and coordination of council meetings and approaches her work with great attention to detail, accuracy, and thoroughness. Thank you, Christine, for your hard work this year. Amy Albano, you've been with the city for many years, but we are especially fortunate to have you as our city attorney as we navigate the many impacts of COVID-19. as president of the Los Angeles County Prosecutors Association and a member of the board of the League of California Cities, you provide valuable insight and guidance on the city's legal affairs. Since the pandemic began, you have crafted over a dozen orders, urgency ordinances, and resolutions governing everything from social distancing to permits for outdoor business operations. No matter the challenge the city faces, we can always count on your sound advice. Thank you for your tireless effort to help our city. City Manager Justin Hess, you recently completed your first year as our permanent city manager, and what a year it has been. I'm sure most of us never anticipated a global pandemic, but we are grateful for your strong and steady leadership during these trying times. While not the most ideal circumstances, you have successfully brought together a strong executive team, ensured the continuity of city services for Burbank residents, and found new ways to engage with the community. The city of Burbank is fortunate to have you at the helm, overseeing nearly a dozen city departments and 1,500 employees. Thank you for all you do. At this time, I'd like to also thank city staff who have worked so tirelessly this year to enable the city to adapt its programs, services, and meetings as we all get through this pandemic. Your efforts have not gone unnoticed by the City Council and the Burbank community. Thank you for your hard work. And I'd also like to give a shout out to Jonathan, Mary, Zanin, Walter, Sharina, and Cassidy in the Public Information Office. Thank you very much for working with me so diligently and being so very professional and helpful. Council members, I've provided each of you with a picture of the 5 of us that staff has already placed in your office. I'd also like to recognize each of you and provide you with the gift that you have in front of you or was sent home to you. Thank you. I appreciate each of you and each of your individual personalities and expertise. And Vice Mayor Frutos, thank you very much for all your help on council and during my mayoral term. I sincerely appreciate all of your guidance related to law enforcement issues and your particular take on the many different issues. And thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate it. And also, Councilmember Talamantes, I so appreciate your contribution to my term, and your experience as a firefighter has been very beneficial, and both you and Vice Mayor Frutos have been very helpful to me during all of the employee contract negotiations. Thank you very much. And I appreciate your personality in all of our decisions and all of your contributions to everything that we've done. And Councilmember Gabeletti, I was her vice mayor for quite a while. I think we had a little bit longer than a year. So I'm just so appreciative that Emily and I got to serve together, and thank you for allowing that to happen. Thank you for nominating us and electing us to be mayor and vice mayor together. It's a partnership that I just really appreciate, and a friendship that I'm very grateful for. And one thing that I'd like to tell everybody is that this group, these 5 council members, they are making the best decisions for our community. we can just speak with one other council member, because we don't want to violate the Brown Act. But I can tell you that we're tossing and turning for you, and I appreciate that. And Councilmember Murphy, thank you for your giant heart and for your service now and way back, and for being part of the team on the second century so that we get to celebrate it today, and that I got to celebrate it as mayor. And it's thank you very much for stepping up and filling and taking Will's place, and for being his friend and our friend. And so I feel like it was a very special time. We've gotten a lot done. And I really appreciate your response to the pandemic, but at the same time, keeping our city going. And it's been a real juggling act, and I really sincerely appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. At this time, I'd like to invite my fellow council members to acknowledge their family and friends. Vice Mayor Frutos, you get to start.
All right. My wife is working her way. We've kept our distance, but we're going to say hi together as a couple, as a family. I brought my wife here today that supports me in the council, and I thank her very much for allowing me the opportunity to serve on council. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Hi, Laura. Councilmember Talamantes.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I too would like to thank, obviously, my wife, Sandy, all my kids, Eric, Kristen, and Scott, and my grandkids have been part of some of these Zoom meetings. You've gotten to know Dylan, you've gotten to know Shane, 2 of my 4 grandkids. But anyway, it's you need support at home as well as support from your colleagues on the council as well, and staff. So thank you, Madam Mayor. It's been a wonderful year for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Gabaletti.
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to introduce and thank my husband for being here today, Bill Luddy. So there we are.
Got my mask.
He's got his mask. We're in a pod. And I'd also like to thank the friends who are watching today, and also, Mayor, an occasion to really say how much your service to the community is appreciated by all of us. You had to do something in an absolutely unprecedented circumstance, and I think you really rose to the occasion. So I'm grateful that you have been part of this whole journey. It's been a pleasure to get to know you and be your friend.
Thank you. Thanks. Councilmember Murphy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would like to acknowledge the companionship and incredible teamwork with my best friend, Gloria Salas, who's an amazing human being, a much better person than I am, and she inspires me all the time. My kids, who are also awesome, Sean, Robert, Connor, and I think I have to also say thanks to Caroline and Jessica and Brandy. And then there's the 2 dogs that keep me sane with my walks every day, Tessa and Buster. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So before we move on to the next part, I just want to just quickly tell you what the council members' goals were, and just so our community can reflect on those while you look around and drive around our city. Housing, traffic and transportation, quality of life, city services, planning, and sustainability. Thank you all for the commitment to those goals, and thank you, staff, for helping us implement them. Thank you to our residents for support and input, and also thanks to our nonprofits. Thank you very much. Stay safe.
Madam Mayor?
Madam Mayor? Madam Mayor?
Yes,
Yes.
Councilmember Talamantes.
I don't know if we're going to transition to number 11 on the agenda, but I'd like to congratulate you on your extremely successful, challenging, and crazy year. During all the craziness, you remained focused and engaged with the entire community. Madam Mayor, you have raised the bar for future mayors. Thank you for your dedication to our great community. Thank you.
Thank you, Jess.
Madam Mayor, this has been a very tough year, and your leadership, your commitment, and most important, your compassion for not just your council, but the people of the city of Burbank. You were shortchanged as a mayor because you didn't do some of the ceremonial activities that other mayors before you got to. But you persevered, and you put priority, which was people. And for that, the four of us, wanted to say thank you. It's been an honor to serve under your leadership as our city's mayor. We, the council, have a small token of appreciation for you. We have this lovely bouquet of flowers for you. And we also wanted to give you a gavel to be proudly displayed in your office or in your home to thank you for leading the city of Burbank through this time. But most important, we wanted to acknowledge you as our city's mayor and thank you from the bottom of our hearts, as it's not easy being the mayor.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And at this point, I'd like to ask my fellow colleagues on the council to please share any thoughts they'd like to share with the mayor. Thank you.
Real quick, I guess I was a little, I said my comment too soon. I wasn't sure. Anyway, once
you.
again, I just want to mention, echo the comments that have been made, Madam Mayor. Extremely difficult year. It's tough to be mayor on a normal year, let alone with these challenges and craziness that have been presented to us. But you've done an excellent job. Like I mentioned earlier, you've raised the bar for future mayors with your engagement with the community and your caring for the community. I've seen it and I've witnessed it, and you've done an excellent job when it comes to that. So I'm looking forward to working with you. When you step down, you'll always be Madam Mayor. Once a mayor, always a mayor. So I'm looking forward to working with you and look forward to what has to come as we work together as a team. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Madam Mayor, I too kind of jumped the gun on saying this, but I'm reminded of a couple of things that I think that you have really brought to the community of Burbank. One is your humanity is as big as all outdoors. And in our conversations about the unsheltered persons that you know and that you talk to and that you have spent time with, is just an extraordinary thing for you to have done that outreach without bragging about it, simply doing it, learning about Sanford, learning about others, and reminding me that part of our humanity is recognizing our homeless by their name, asking them about what is going on with them, and not avoiding or turning our backs on them. So that's one thing. The second is your unswerving service at the farmers market every Saturday morning now, talking to people, spending time with residents from the city of Burbank, learning more about their issues. And then finally, you read our goals, and I was very proud, and thank you very much for seeing that the Burbank Channel Bikeway was completed. So now there will be a possible bikeway all the way from Metrolink down to Victory with only one crossing at Alameda. It's just a terrific thing to see that link close. So thank you, Madam Mayor, for all of those things you have achieved this year.
Thank you very much. Well, I certainly didn't do it by myself. And since you brought up our homeless, I'd like to thank staff and BPD for all they do for our homeless. I've witnessed them compassionately interact and support our unhoused population. Thank you.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Murphy.
I would like to thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your passion. I heard a lot of times from the public that they missed the mayor's show at certain times. And during the pandemic, it was the Sharon show. I mean, you were there, you were talking about the cases, you were giving the information that people wanted to hear. And I remember a couple of times people complained because they missed the Sharon show. It was kind of like when you're a little kid not getting read a bedtime story, want that information. And I also want people to know that if they haven't seen it, you also have a structure of steel. You're not a pushover. You're a strong person, and I think when I'm talking about this, I'm thinking about the five of us writing the opposition to RC. It's hard enough for one person to write 200 words about something, but it's hard for five people to write something like that. And we disagreed, we argued, we got together, and we did something, and we parted as friends. But I thought you were like a bulldog in there a couple of times, about your points, and we listened. So thank you for that. It's been a really tough, crazy, no good, very bad year with the pandemic, and I think that you've risen to the occasion and made people feel better about their lives. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And thank you all for your collaboration. And I'm so appreciative that we can do things like that, and we can express our opinions, and we can disagree, and we can come out kind of scratched and battered sometimes, but then we're okay, right? We can get back together, and I so appreciate that we just pick up, we leave that behind us, and we move on to the next thing. That's just so important. We move on to fulfill our commitment to our Burbank community and to do the best for them. And I really appreciate that relationship. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Hess?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Traditionally, the city manager presents the outgoing mayor with a book of memories. This photo album, lift it up here.
Great.
Hopefully you get it on screen here. This captures your term over the past year. We'd like to share a few of the pictures within this slideshow. Mayor Springer, you started your term with a focus on housing, transportation, and homelessness. Between December 2019 and now, the city has faced many challenges, and you've tackled each one with poise, courage, and integrity. You fought to keep local control in the hands of Burbank while advocating for responsible development and affordable housing for our residents. Throughout your term, you were in constant conversation with state leaders on responsible ways to help Burbank progress towards its housing goal. During your term, several council-approved major developments moved forward, most notably the La Terra mixed-use project on Front Street, as well as the second-century Warner Brothers building designed by Frank Gehry. In conjunction with Councilmember Gable Luddy, you served on the San Fernando Valley Airplane Noise Task Force and helped craft recommendations to the FAA regarding jet and noise pollution concerns. You used your platform on mayor shows to promote the city's Burbank bus, particularly the Pink Line extension, and informed residents of sustainable programs offered through Burbank Water and Power. Every day, you demonstrate your commitment to the environment opting to walk or ride public transit wherever you go. As the pandemic hit, you became our spokesperson for the city, filming dozens of COVID updates, educating and informing the Burbank community on protocols, guidelines, and orders. You found ways to connect with the community online and successfully hosted Burbank's first ever virtual State of the City. As issues of race, equity, and inclusion rose to the forefront, you collaborated with community groups to learn how Burbank could effectively address these issues and move forward, championing a proclamation against racism and condemning prejudice head-on. During your term as mayor, the city has made progress on the issues of local control, housing, and transportation, all the while confronting a global pandemic. We hope this scrapbook reminds you that you have much to be proud of your 1 year as mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I look forward to looking at that. And again, I didn't do this by myself, and I so appreciate all the support from everybody, staff, you all, our nonprofits, our residents. Thank you. We're also joined by officials and their representatives from federal, state, and county elected office. I think Jared with Supervisor Barger's office is here and would like to speak.
Yes, Mayor Springer, thank you for having us. And on behalf of Supervisor Barger, who just served as chair of the Board of Supervisors, your tenureship as mayor was not probably what you had anticipated, but you led the city with dignity and dedication. And Supervisor Barger is so appreciative of your leadership during this time. We look forward to continuing to working with you. Also want to thank the city of Burbank for a very successful city meeting that we had with Supervisor Barger this last week. Vice Mayor Frutos, Chief of Staff Jason Maruca is looking forward to working with you moving forward. Council members Murphy and Gable Luddy, we want to thank you for your dedication and community service to the city of Burbank and the county of Los Angeles. And we are looking forward to working with council members elect Anthony and Schultz as we move forward. So, thank you all. Thank you, Mayor Springer. And again, we're looking forward to continuing this partnership together.
Thank you very much for your kind and supportive words, and we absolutely look forward to your continued support and helping us implement and address everything that comes up. Thank you very much. Yes, I think Congressman Sherman would like to speak. Thank you.
Boy, thank you so much. It's so good to see a governmental body where people get along and get things done and come together. Boy, I'm jealous. In any case, I want to congratulate Tim Murphy and Emily Gabel Luddy for their service. Commend Emily for her work on the Airport Noise Task Force, and Tim for the Boys and Girls Club, and congratulate Ang Palmer on her reelection. And of course, we've got two new members of the council, Nick Schultz and Constantine Anthony, who both ran on a platform of trying to deal with the homelessness and the need for supportive and affordable housing. And I look forward to accomplishing those goals. Here in Washington, we're, I hope, going to pass another COVID relief bill this week. That's why I'm here. I'm hoping that it has money for city governments. I know it will have money for schools if it's passed at all. And it's been a tough year for the country. As a Democrat, I just say this is the Mick Jagger year. You don't always get what you want, but you get what you need. And I look forward to working with the city of Burbank. If there's way I can be helpful to an individual constituent or, of course, the entire city, please let me know. You can contact Scott Abrams, my district director, at any time. Scott will work very hard. He'll solve your problem, and then I, Brad Sherman, will take the credit. So thank you very much, and thanks for making Burbank a wonderful place to live, and look forward to working with you in what I hope is a sunnier year. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman Sherman, and thank you for all your help and your hard work on the COVID relief. We absolutely could certainly use that. Thank you.
Hi to Laura, who I just saw on my screen. Hi, Laura.
Okay. Senator Portantino, hi. How are you?
Hello, Madam Mayor. How are you? It was so nice to hear all the wonderful things that were said about you by your colleagues. You are truly a person who deeply cares about the city of Burbank and not only talks it, you walk it every day. So congratulations on your extraordinary tenure during this time of pandemic. You have, one of your colleagues said you set the bar higher for the rest to follow, and it certainly is true. And so it's been a pleasure to work with you. And as I've said before, you and Arda have struck up a good friendship, and it's just great that the community is so open and warm to Arda from my staff. And it was nice to hear you give such warm shout outs to all of the Burbank staff, because as Congressman Sherman just said, our staffs do all the work, and we get to bask in the limelight that they do for us. So it was nice to see you go through each and every staff member at Burbank and give them the recognition that they're due. So congratulations on a wonderful year as mayor during a horrible year to be mayor. And I think that's, we're all of your colleagues I know share that same sentiment, that this was a time for your steady hand and your just classic and wonderful deportment carried Burbank through the pandemic. And I do want to say warm, heartfelt well wishes to Councilmember Gable Luddy, who also served Burbank so well. We got to know each other over the last couple of years, much more so than early in your tenure. And I've just been impressed with your deep thoughtfulness and approach to issues, and how you are solution oriented and really want to get the best, not just for Burbank, but for the community. And so, Council Member, I wish you well wishes in your next endeavor and congratulate you on your tenure on the city of Burbank. And Mr. Murphy, Councilmember Murphy, you've come back and at a time that needed a steady hand, and thank you for your service as well as a Burbank council member again. And I'm going to parrot something Congressman Sherman said, to see all of you get along and row in the same direction and be congenial and frankly not be political. It has been an example. And Councilmember Talamantes and Frutos, you're part of that as well. You all five really put the best interests of the city first and foremost, and not that you agree or disagree all the time, but just the way you do it. I think it's an example for the rest of Los Angeles County to follow. And I want to congratulate Treasurer Crystal Palmer as well on her reelection, going from an appointed official to an elected official. I tell everybody, no one knows what it's like to put your name on the ballot, and you put your name on the ballot and will serve this city well. And to the incoming council members, Councilmember-elect Schultz and Anthony, having served on a small town city council, there's nothing better than local government. There's nothing more immediate. There's nothing more special. And so I want to congratulate the two of you on your election victories, and wish you well as you get sworn in and continue to serve this great city of Burbank. And to all of the other staff and folks out there, you have a great city and a terrific council. And I'm just honored to be a representative and to congratulate all of you, because you all do so much, not just to make Burbank better, but as Jared said, to make Los Angeles County better, and by extension, the state of California. So congratulations, and best wishes to all of you. And please have a safe holiday as we go into the holiday season. You continue to practice your social distancing. And I tell everybody a mask is a sign of love for your neighbor. It's not a political statement. And this is a community that loves its neighbor. So God bless and thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Senator, for your very kind affirmations. And please tell Arda we miss her. And we look forward to seeing her again one day. We still get her emails, and we certainly appreciate those. So thank you very much. And you too, stay safe.
Thank you.
Assemblymember Friedman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First, I want to thank all of you for your service. I know from experience how hard being a council member really is. The public doesn't always realize how much work is involved in what you do. And you are also the ones that everybody goes to when they have any problem or any complaint with the city. But I hope that you all realize that the people have chosen you to ensure their quality of life. And that's a huge responsibility, but also a huge honor. And I want to thank you for taking that mantle on. I want to first thank and congratulate outgoing Mayor Springer for her work during this very difficult time. It was really wonderful to have a steady hand in Burbank and someone who was so passionate about the fate of the people that she represents. Councilmember Murphy, I can't think of anyone better to have come back and bring their steady hand and their wisdom during the difficult time after Will Rogers' passing. If I can think of one word that describes you, it's compassion. And you bring that compassion to every decision that you make. And knowing that you are a true man of the people, you know, that sees everything through that lens of compassion makes you a wonderful representative. Councilmember Luddy, you know, since I've been in office and on the city council, I have thought of you as my friend and in many ways as my mentor. We don't always agree, but I know that when I talk to you about an issue that you're always going to make me think and reconsider my position, because you are someone who is smarter than me, wiser than me. I don't know yet if you're a better horsewoman than me. We will hopefully find that out someday. But you have made an incredible contribution to Burbank, and you're going to leave a lasting legacy, and I can't wait to see what you do next. And I hope that I can still call you for your sage counsel. To incoming council member Constantine Anthony, you ran a campaign showing your authentic self, and it really resonated with the people of Burbank. I remember when you ran your first race and you lost 2 years ago. Instead of getting discouraged, you said to me, now I know what I need to do to win. And you spent the next 2 years getting to know the city of Burbank, getting to know its people, and you ran trying to give a voice to people who felt voiceless and unseen. And I think you come into office with a mandate realizing that the old ways haven't always worked for everybody. And you have a determination to try some radical new stuff. And I can't wait to see what you're going to accomplish. To incoming council member Schultz, I have known you for many years, and you have been a dedicated public servant for many years, and this next role comes very naturally to you. When I think of how to describe you, I would say sincere. And I think that it's that quality, along with your ability to truly listen to people, that made you be chosen by the people of Burbank to lead them. And I'm very excited as well to work with you. To Treasurer Crystal Palmer, your steady hand is going to be very needed in the next few years. And I hope that you have a council that stands behind you and ready to work with you. To all of you, it's been an honor to be your partner in Sacramento, and I look forward to trying to face these challenges that we're all going to have in the next year. Congratulations to everybody, and thank you so much for your dedication to the people.
Thank you very much for those kind words, kind and welcoming words. Okay, next we have a representative from Senator Dianne Feinstein's office.
Hi, good morning, Mayor Springer and City Council. My name is Marco Enriquez. I'm a field representative for U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein, And first off, Mayor Springer, we would just like to thank you for your unwavering dedication and service to the city of Burbank. We look forward to continuing working with you. To City Council members Gable Letty and Murphy, thank you for your service as well to the city. And we send our best wishes in all your future endeavors. To the incoming City Council, we look forward to working with you, and please feel free to reach out to me for any questions or meetings like that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have a representative from Adam Schiff's office.
Hi, good morning. My name is Teresa Lamb Simpson, and I'm a district representative for Congressman Schiff. Thank you for inviting our office to participate in today's meeting. Congratulations to Treasurer-elect Crystal Palmer and Council members-elect Constantine Anthony and Nick Schultz upon their elections. I know they will serve Burbank and its residents well in their new positions. Thank you also to outgoing Mayor Sharon Springer for her outstanding service as mayor. On behalf of Congressman Schiff, it is an honor to present a certificate for the flag that was flown over the United States Capitol for Emily Gable Luddy in appreciation of her dedicated service as a member of the Burbank City Council. It is also an honor to present a certificate for the flag that was flown over the United States Capitol for Tim Murphy in appreciation of his dedicated service as a member of the Burbank City Council. The flags and certificates will be mailed. Thank you, Council members Gable Luddy and Murphy, for serving the city of Burbank with distinction and integrity. It has been a true pleasure for Congressman Schiff and his staff to work with both of you over the years, and we will miss you on the council. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your kind words, and please say hello to Congressman Schiff, and please extend our gratitude to him. Thank you. Now is the time to say goodbye to two of our fellow council members, Councilmember Gable Luddy and Councilmember Murphy. Both have made outstanding contributions to the city of Burbank, and it has been a pleasure to serve alongside you on the Burbank City Council. On behalf of council, you will find a floral gift on your desks as a show of our deep appreciation. Mr. Hess also has a few comments he'd like to share.
Thank you. First off, Councilmember Murphy, we're going to miss you. You're a veteran when it comes to the Burbank City Council. We appreciate you stepping up and serving as council member in 2018 after the tragic passing of former Mayor Will Rogers. The unanimous vote by City Council to appoint you is a true testament to your strong and honorable character, your commitment to Burbank, and your skill as a leader. As a family law and criminal law attorney and a former Superior Court Commissioner for over 15 years, you brought a unique perspective to the City Council and went out of your way to listen to and respond to the voices of the community. Staff is honored and it has prepared this very short video to commemorate your service on council.
Vice Mayor, Council, thank you for your time. I would be honored to fill out Will's term. Will was a friend. I was his campaign manager in his first ever run for office, and I worked with him very hard. I know this town really well. I've walked all the neighborhoods. I've knocked on more doors than anyone I know, for bonds, for campaigns, for initiatives. We have to do more, though. I think The entire council has to be united. Had no plans to run. I didn't plan to do this. A lot of people called me and said, you need to do this. I thought about it a long time. I mean, there's days where somebody calls you and you can fix something that, you know, you're higher than a kite. I like the way that you guys talk to each other. I like the way that you're professional, you disagree, but you're still friends when it's over. And that's what it should be. This should be fun. This should be one of the highlights of your career. You should be having a great time. I'd like to work with you. You're a good group. Thank you.
Thank you for allowing us to share that. And before we have you comment, last but not least, Councilmember Gabeletti. Emily, we're going to miss you. You served on the Burbank City Council since 2011, but your service to Burbank began over a decade ago when you were appointed to the Planning Board, later serving as a member of the Blue Ribbon Task Force for Affordable Housing and the Sustainable Burbank Commission. You've contributed your expertise as a professional city planner to help the city tackle planning and land use issues, and provided valuable insight on the city's complete streets plan as we aim to integrate pedestrian and urban infrastructure to create more walkable neighborhoods in Burbank. You've been a calm and steady force on council, often showing the ability to compromise and reach solutions that address many different points of view. The city is so grateful for your service, and staff has created this video to commemorate your time in public office.
This is a time prescribed by the city charter for the induction of newly elected city officials and the reorganization of the city council. Mrs. Campos, will you please administer the oath to the newly elected council member Emily Gabeletti and re-elected council member Gary Brick?
Do you solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic?
I will with passion.
Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations to both of you.
Our second item tonight is a zone text amendment. That is an action that will go to the city council regardless of how the board acts on the matter tonight.
It's been a pleasure working with you for 10 years on the planning board, and we look forward to continue having the opportunity to work with you on the city council.
Well, thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. I'm proud to be part of the city council. I chose to run for city council and take public service because that's really always been in my bones. It was really an important thing to do.
I do believe that we need to see a common path forward in order to continue to make good progress.
Moving forward is the best way to go. So again, I'd like to thank you all. I think all of us feel that Burbank really is a small town with a big city heart. And if I were to describe to someone the characteristics of Burbank, that's exactly what I would tell them. About 30 minutes ago, our mayor, Will Rogers, passed away.
I move that Vice Mayor Emily Gabeletti be appointed to succeed Mayor Pro Tem as mayor of the city of Burbank.
Second.
Thank you for your trust in me going forward.
Burbank is a wonderful city that I truly love. We have stories of our past and our future. The story of our future is always at a crossroads, where we get to choose that direction. I, along with my fellow council members, are very excited about what is still to come.
things that you could gather from that wonderful video was, she rocks.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Frutos and Councilmember Talamantes, do you have some words to say?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. To my colleague, Council Member Emily Gabeletti, to my friend Emily, there's a part of my heart that's really sad emotionally, because we started very rough when I first got elected, but we really got to know each other. And what I really loved about us is we put our politics to the side and we learned from each other. And we had some tough conversations, but I felt that our sincerity and our commitment to the people of Burbank was so important to both of us that I felt very close to you because of your background as an urban planner and your experience teaching other people, because you're part of the USC faculty, to me is very admirable, that I always looked up to you. And as every negative, tough issue was presented to the council, I would rely on you for your subject matter expertise to educate me, like you would rely on me to talk about public safety, to talk about the pulse of the community and what my thoughts were. And that meant so much to me, Emily. So my heart, it's really sad, but I know we have a friendship. And I loved it when we went to Death Valley and I got to know you and your husband, Bill, to when you learned about me and you asked me a lot of questions that you really wanted to get to know what made up Bob Frutos. And that to me was your sincere interest in me as a person working with you together for the benefit of our great city and its people. So I know personally, Emily, I will miss you. And thank you for this opportunity, because you're part of my personal history as a great person that I had the privilege of working side by side. Thank you, Emily. Enjoy your retirement. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Frutos. Yes, Councilmember Talamantes.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Well, it's always difficult to say goodbye, especially with someone, and I'm talking about Emily now, that we've been together for the past 10 years. You know, I've enjoyed your comments. I've enjoyed your input into our discussions, and the friendship that we developed over the past 10 years, along with your husband, Bill. I will really miss that. And I've told you this several times. Once you decided that you weren't going to pursue re-election, I was sad to hear that. I was really sad to hear that because I wanted you to continue. You had so much to offer the past 10 years. You have so much to offer in coming years. You want to say something, Vice Mayor?
No, I wanted to make sure that I can have the mic after your thoughts, Vice Mayor, because I like to say something about Tim after you're done, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, like I've said, I was really sad to hear that you were not going to run for re-election, but I know you've got a future ahead of you. There's a lot of teaching to be done for future planners, future elected officials. Who knows? And I know there's a lot of world out there that you and Bill will be enjoying during your travels. And this job does sometimes get in your way of your personal life. But we do it because of the sense of commitment, a sense of community, a sense of service. And that's what you've done. And you're going to continue to do that. Even though you're not going to be on council, you're going to still serve in several capacities. I know you are. But like I said, we've built a strong relationship. We've been colleagues for 10 years and we've been friends for 10 years. So I want to thank you for all you've done for their community. I want to thank you for all the influence you've had on me when it comes to decision making and the thought-provoking process that you put it out on the table for everybody, especially council, to make a decision. So, Emily, thank you very much for your friendship and your service to our community. Tim, Your Honor, I've enjoyed working with you. I got to know you even better. Obviously, I knew you from your past when you were on council before, but I didn't get to know you as well as I have for the past 2 years. And I consider you a friend. And like it's been mentioned, sometimes you don't always agree, but it doesn't matter. The mayor said it perfectly. We move forward. We move forward. What are we here for? We're not here to fight with each other. Let's make a decision, whether you agree with it or not, and then let's move forward for the betterment of our community. That's the bottom line. And that's where your compassion comes in, Your Honor. You have been very passionate for the community. You've been very responsive to the community. And once again, I consider you a friend as well. So thank you very much for stepping forward a couple of years ago. And I look forward to still keeping in contact with you in future years. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Yes, Vice Mayor Frutos?
Yes, to Councilmember Tim Murphy, but to my friend Tim, you have played a critical role in my development to be where I'm at today. Because when I first got elected to the city council back in 2013, you were one of 4 prior elected officials that helped me in my learning curve. Because it's one thing to campaign and get elected, but that first year on council is such a huge learning curve that I remember our dinners at Black Angus and the different what if questions I would bring up to you. But you were always there for me. Even when I called you when it was a hot, tough item on city council, and I kind of wanted your background and experience. You are a gentleman and a scholar, and I was so honored to serve side by side with you on this council that the words of thank you cannot really express my really deep feeling for you and your wife, Gloria, for always being there for me and being that rock when I first got elected to council to lean on. But Tim, I got to tell you honestly, I thought I was an emotional basket case of wearing my emotions on my sleeves and on my arms that people can see. You take the cake because you really care on the outcome of whatever decision we make and how you process to come up to a decision. But like Councilmember Telemontes said, and also was echoed, as we see things politically, you and I can honestly come up to an agreement to agree to disagree. But it's really what's important for the people of Burbank that makes Councilmember Murphy a very special and unique, dynamic individual that I had the privilege of serving side by side. And you always had me laughing, Tim. I'm sorry. I got to tell you that. Sometimes I had to hide those smiles from your jokes, but it added to diffuse a tense situation to make it a positive one. Thank you, my friend, Tim Murphy. Thank you, council member, for your service to the people of Burbank. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Murphy, would you like to say a few words?
I hope a very few words. I'm better as part of a group. This is embarrassing to me. If I had my choice, I would have left the building already. Thank you very much.
Something on the screen I pushed it there.
People don't realize that I'm actually quite shy and usually a man of few words. I will keep that in place today. It's been a pleasure to work with this council. I said on the night that I spoke to you that, you needed to have fun. You need to work together. And that's so important. And it was true with us. We all had our say. I don't think there were any weaknesses. There were a lot of strengths. I can't say how many times I listened to Emily on planning issues, Jess on other issues. It was just great the way we all talked and found the right path. So it was really, really great. Walking into an economic crisis helped to talk to all of you about what to do. The voters stepped forward and helped us solve it. And the fruit is right now during this pandemic when other cities are ripping their hair out, laying people off, talking about the sky is falling. Burbank has a surplus, and nobody moved here because I was on the council. People move here because of this community, because of the services, and because of the employees who just step forward again and again and again and make us look good. So I was proud to do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that brings up a point that thank you all for working so hard on our financial stability. And also, Councilmember Murphy, thanks for calling me a bulldog. Because when I was running, I heard, Sharon, you've got to lose the pink. You remember my signs were pink? And Sharon, you have to change your tone of voice. So thank you. I appreciate that. I take it as a compliment. Councilmember Gabel-Luddy, do you have any remarks? Great, thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I'm probably going to call you all by your first names because it's a kind of farewell moment, but not really. First, Tim is a man of few words, but I brought a 50-page speech to speak to. It's a moving moment. So let me see how I get through this. Tim, congratulations on your retirement. I'll see you around town with your dogs, with my dogs. We'll be out there always. And I'll see you at the Human Relations Council. I'd like to congratulate the Councilmember-elect Nick Schultz and Councilmember-elect Constantine Anthony. And I'd like to definitely, for sure, congratulate Crystal Palmer for her election as our city treasurer. 9 years is a pretty long time, and I would like to recount some of those moments, having served with Jess the very longest, who welcomed me when I joined council. So I'd like to recount some of those milestones and maybe why they make, as Tim said, why people come to the city for the city services and for the community and because of the work that's done here. When I first got on council, the big issue there were two big issues of the day. One was the opening of Walmart, which I fought but lost. One was, and for zoning reasons. One was the issue that our pet stores in Burbank sold at retail kittens and puppies that were shipped in from puppy mills in the Midwest and the South. Doesn't matter where they came from, it mattered that it was an issue. So one of the earliest acts of our council 9 years ago was to ban the retail sales of dogs and cats that came from puppy mills. And The significance of this was not only the outpouring of a new kind of love for companion animals, but that we have in Burbank evolved into an adoption and rescue model. It's not to say you can't still get your favorite purebred dog or cat, but to say that by and large, there are a lot of those puppies out on the street now who have loving new homes. Another community-wide significance for us was banning Roundup from use as a chemical weed killer in all of our parks, something we did as a council when the late Mayor Rogers was the mayor. And to that, we owe a thanks to the Burbank moms and also to the South Hills Church and other volunteers and community leaders who helped create the subsequent program called Dig Burbank. So what did we do? We went out and pulled the weeds. We also recognized our First Nations as a council. And as you know, in this area, not too far from here, the Tongvas settled along the Los Angeles River. We adopted formal recognition of Indigenous Peoples Day, and we set aside Columbus Day and that recognition. We created an extraordinary, innovative system at our landfill, this council did, by installing a facility to recapture enough methane from the landfill to power up 500 Burbank homes. We adopted new design standards for the city's anti-mansionization ordinance. Our staff, given council direction, implemented a recreation and parks and a public services program called the PASS program to serve our lower income residents, families, and seniors so that they could access city services and park programs at no cost to them. Our staff created the RISE program, which was residents in service, adding a second leadership program to focus on newer residents to Burbank, immigrant residents, those whose families may speak English as a second language but not the first, and who live in our focus neighborhoods. We see these graduates now serving on our commissions and running for city council. I'm also very proud of the citizen academies that were developed by the Burbank Police Department under the leadership of Chief Lachas, offering this academy in 3 languages, including Spanish and Armenian. Under our leadership, and I'll start with Jess again, and Bob, we expanded funding for Burbank Coordinating Council. We provided additional funding for BTAC to build their expansion services, to Family Service Agency, and we implemented through city funding the school-based counseling at BUSD, as well as support for the wellness centers at our high schools. We supported the building renovation of the Burbank Youth Center, working with the Armenian community. We supported the Boys and Girls Club to secure their new facility at the old Salvation Army site. And a founder of the Boys and Girls Club is right here, Tim Murphy. I didn't know it, Tim, until you got on council. With the leadership of Supervisor Antanovich and Jess, we opened a second Metrolink stop at the airport. With the assistance of Amy and staff, I started the Domestic Violence Task Force, which engaged local and county participants, included support for LGBTQ, and resulted in changes to city procedures and information about domestic violence, made available through our clerk, Zizette, in 5 languages. And I also want to thank the Zonta Club, who picked up the charge here and set up an exhibit at our mall, where we as a community brought forward 330 pairs of shoes, including some men's pairs, that gave us an understanding of the extent of domestic violence incidents in our city over a year. These made lasting changes. In 2013, when Bob came on board, our police department established the mental health evaluation team between County Health and the Burbank Police Department. And in the process of having community meetings about the issue of homelessness and mental health, we worked with St. Joseph Medical Center, FSA, BTAC, the Boys and Girls Club, Family Promise, the Y, and in 2017, we adopted the Homeless Services Plan. I think it speaks well of our department that our law enforcement officers know the names of our homeless individuals in this community. In 2018, we identified storage facilities for our unsheltered so they can keep important papers in a secure place. And among all of us, we authorized purchasing a building, not the Scott Motel, but the old Hollywood piano site, for the potential use eventually as a permanent homeless shelter. We hope to make these all successful in the future. Burbank Housing Corporation was started well before I came on council. I don't even remember the date. Maybe you remember, Justin. But in the process, the city set up its own nonprofit housing developer. And in the time that I was on council, and Jess was on council, we oversaw construction of 22 new low-income family housing units on Catalina, renovation for the Veterans Transitional Housing on Verdugo, and purchased 2 additional triplexes for transitional family housing to serve those getting back on their feet in partnership with Family Promise. I know that you've already spoken about La Terra and other projects, so this may be a little bit redundant, but this is sort of my personal where I hope that my contributions helped. And that was helping to implement an approach to development whereby the city and the community gain significant and lasting public benefits through the approval process. Avion is an example, First Street and La Terra. And as controversial as it was, Tulare is an example because we closed the streets to the residential neighborhood across the street from that project and installed cul-de-sacs, restoring a tremendous measure of quiet to that neighborhood. And Cedar Avenue, which was very controversial, but our staff had by then picked up the charge to make the project about the neighborhood and not just about the building. And so for that, I'd say the change is this. None of these projects were about the 4 corners of a lot or just about the building or buildings going on that property. They all were about design within contextual neighborhood. They were about affordable housing, bikeways, the construction of access for people with disabilities to mature tree plantings and permanent open space. And as our staff say now, we build neighborhoods, not just buildings. And for that, I'm very grateful for the leadership in implementing that. For Justin, Bob, and I, remember 2012, 2017, and 2018 over the DeBell Golf Course? We turned the page twice, and now we're at a point where DeBell is very successful. Although I think all of us would have been surprised to think that a pandemic would make golfing the latest and best thing to do, but it is. And in 2014, we turned a page on the recycling center to the point where it is today a leader in its field, and where Craig and Amy, until the pandemic, were leading the charge on eliminating polystyrene as a takeout container from all of our restaurants so we can get on with a more sustainable future.
And that, of course, was brought to us by Sarah Andrews, the 2018 graduate of Burbank High School, and her Girl Scout troop. So these are the broader citywide public benefits I think that the council has brought forward. Resolving the Hollywood Burbank Airport Terminal after decades of dispute that cost the city millions of dollars in litigation and noise studies. We secured a supermajority vote by the Airport Authority Commissioners that substantially provides more protection for Burbank residents. We still need permanent nighttime noise relief. We came close at the Congress, but I am more hopeful in seeing Congressman Sherman on and a representative from Congressman Schiff's office that we can get this done under the new administration in Washington. As a council, we protected the general fund transfers from Burbank Water and Power and expanded the recycling efforts, including into the city of Los Angeles, enhancing its financial support for low-income households and now households affected by COVID-related layoffs. All the while keeping this utility in the top ranking nationwide of a municipal-run utility. And Sharon, you and I remember pushing back on the integrated resource plan to get the utility to agree to aspire to go greenhouse gas neutral ahead of the state mandate. And we succeeded. Our utility is 99.998% electricity reliable, and we continue to reduce our reliance on MWD water. Another transformative matter for the city has been to place the city on a solid financial future through the sales tax initiative, and I thank the community for supporting it, guaranteeing that 50% of that added money go to the city's infrastructure, and in exchange, this current council, completed a commitment to our community to secure at least $9 million of year-over-year savings from now and forever through labor concessions, workers' comp reform, fee cost recovery, employee compensation policy, and the prepayment of our CalPERS pension obligations. The community made their commitment, and we fulfilled ours. And Jess and I remember when we first got elected, both of us were asked, like the second day, are you ready to cut $9.5 million from the budget? Are you ready to cut $8.5 million from the budget? This action by the council and the community and our labor groups has been transformative. And in addition to that, as part of that, we've established a new Citizen Commission on Infrastructure Oversight. Just last week, our staff confirmed the audit that we are reserving the funds as promised to Burbankers when they voted for the sales tax increase. There's been a lot also done at neighborhood level, and I just wanted to touch on a couple of those. Completion of the Neighborhood Protection Plan for Lima, Avon, and California that eliminated cut-through traffic from Alameda and from Tularia. Securing safe rules for the Mariposa Bridge and additional animal keeping protections in the Rancho, and incorporating equestrian safety into state vehicle code, our general plan, our mobility, and as Justin said earlier, our complete streets plans. One thing I was very proud of was saving the campers on Keystone, adjacent to the borough's high school track. We also provided enhanced funding for Magnolia Parks Merchants Association, supporting Ladies and Gents Night Out. So we have looked, and I know on Tuesday I think you're considering the Starlight Estates changes. So there are areas in our city that we have all paid attention to. We've recognized and opened a new memorial, Thank You Veterans Committee, at McCambridge Park. We were the first city in the United States to recognize the 75th anniversary of the Kinder Transport a rescue effort of young children in Germany and Poland and Czechoslovakia to remove them from the Nazi peril of World War II, and we had the opportunity to listen to some of them here at Council. I got to bring Junior State of America into the City Council chambers, so now we have a mock council session. Thank you, Justin. And just more recently, we as a council initiated Women Plus. And Mayor Springer, you covered the more recent developments in our city due to the pandemic, the social and justice issues, as well as the economic problems. Thank you for doing that. And we as a council admitted to the racist past in Burbank so that we may begin a new conversation. So let me close. I told you it was 50 pages long. You know, when I started this job, my hair wasn't blonde. But at least I still have it. And there are many other amazing events in the city. But what I'd like to do is thank Jess. Thank you, Jess, for being my support, being a guidepost for me, helping me understand labor, fire, paramedics. I remember campaigning with Jess, and I fell off a step, and since he was trained as a paramedic, I had nothing to worry about. But it's been a joy to watch your family grow, and I hope my gift to you, that you may find a place for all those new grandchildren, and your mom, and your kids and their spouses in that. And to Bob, I want to say, Bob, when we looked at the airport and the terminal and got through all the negotiations, you were the one who really brought it to a close, and I appreciate your earlier words a great deal and want you to know that it has been really great to get to know you in a completely different way. To Tim, they've all said it, I'll say it again, you have the biggest heart of anyone I have ever met. Tirelessly responsive, thank you. And to Sharon, I couldn't have asked more for a companion, and you were right. 2 women, a woman mayor and a woman vice mayor. It was really a great time to spend together. And whatever small amount I was able to mentor you with, I was glad to have that opportunity. So I'm going to talk about a couple of staff people. I'm doing that because what I've given you each is a small token of appreciation for my 9 years on council. And there weren't enough stars in the universe to do this, so I had to take a solar system and all its planets. Actually, I had to get 2 solar systems to make this work. So each of you has a pin from a planet in our solar system. And to Justin and Amy, you both have planet Earth because you always grounded me. And remember, Justin, we went through 5 city managers as a council. And I'm just so grateful that you are our city manager. And I know at some point maybe you didn't expect to do it, but you stepped up. So for both of you, and for you, Amy, because I was on the team that hired you to begin with, it's been an absolute pleasure to serve with you and to fight with you, as I always say. And to Zizette, you also were an early hire when I first came to council, and your job has just been extraordinary. Not only letting us know what is going on, keeping us straight, handling the new elections, and doing it in a pandemic, but also this amazing program that Will and I were skeptics of, which was the Passport program. It's a wonderful success. So thank you for all your insight and your graciousness. And to Chief Lachas, I don't know where you are, Chief. You've served longer than I have, and I think it's very important that the kind of service that you have provided has really helped to transform the police department over a 10-year period, something that does not happen overnight, something that we come under criticism now for, but something that has been ongoing and is reflected in what the mayor was talking about earlier, and that is when officers are called out because someone's having a mental moment, a mental problem, and they're homeless. Our officers are trained to recognize the difference between a mental crisis and just a violent action. And this is worth so much. I want to finally thank the community because you always reminded us when you thought we were off base. And in many cases, we listened to you. We did our best to see that your needs were met. You came to us with super ideas like Burbank Moms and Sarah and her Girl Scout Club. And you also showed us that maybe something wasn't right. And it reminds me of the time that I think it was David Spell reported as a Brown Act violation an action by the Burbank Hospitality Association. And what came out of that, once we got past the great controversy, was a substantial change in the city's relationship to its BIDs as put in place by our city attorney. And our city attorney also successfully negotiated the return of $52 million from our redevelopment efforts by our predecessor councils at the time redevelopment was terminated by the state. So that's my reflection on it. You know, I'm not a person, I don't wear my heart on my sleeve the way the guys do. But I have to tell you, it's been a really great honor to be of service to the whole community of Burbank. And I want to thank you all for being part of this part of my life. What am I doing? I'm going to teach at the other school. I taught at SC. Yes, Justin. Now I'm going to go teach at UCLA. I'm going back to my roots because, as you know, I was trained as a landscape architect and spent much of my early adult years designing parks and then later working in the field of urban design. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'm looking forward to it. It's the UCLA program in landscape architecture, and I'll be teaching, and the site I've chosen is Johnny Carson Park. So I will maintain deep roots in Burbank, so to speak. And I want to thank you all for indulging me with this amount of time at the podium. I wish you all the very best, and I'll see you around town.
Thank you very much for your service, both Emily and Tim. And what a great recap, right? And it just, I thought of something else that I would like to express gratitude for is the support of council for the Pink Route, double tracking, the $107 million that we accepted to do that, and potentially 15-minute service through downtown Burbank. And thank you. This is the time prescribed by the city charter for the induction of the newly elected city council members and city treasurer. City Clerk Mullins, can you please administer the oath to newly elected city treasurer Crystal Palmer?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Okay, you ready? You can raise your right hand and state your name when I say aye, okay? I,
Crystal Palmer,
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties which I'm about to enter.
I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You want to say a few words?
Great. Congratulations, Ms. Palmer. Would you like to say a few words?
Good morning, my fellow Burbank citizens. I want to thank you all for this incredible opportunity to further my work as your elected city treasurer. First, I wanted to congratulate my fellow candidates for a hard-fought and principled race. You brought fresh perspectives and new ideas to how this role can best serve the city we all love, and I thank you for ensuring that we hear the different voices in our community today. I also wanted to thank my campaign committee and all our volunteers for devoting hours of your time to getting the word out. You made the difference. To all our supporters for your words of encouragement, to all of the donors who contributed to my campaign, and to the Burbank organizations that endorsed my candidacy. I could not have done it without you, and I thank you for all your support. To my staff at the City Treasurer's Office, for your dedication to our work of serving the Burbank community and being here at City Hall every day despite the pandemic and its challenges, thank you. To the Council, for your endorsements and for giving me this opportunity to serve when you appointed me last year. I am deeply grateful. I look forward to continuing to work with you and learning from your years of collective experience. To my family, my husband Sean and our 3 children, Elliot, Grant, and Madeline, thank you for being so understanding of the hours I spend at the office and out engaging with our community. I love you all. And finally, to the Burbank residents, for believing in me and for entrusting me to continue to safeguard our city's finances. I am humbled and deeply honored, and I look forward to our ongoing work of building a better Burbank together. Thank you.
Thank you very much and congratulations. City Clerk Mullins, can you please administer the oath to the newly elected council members Constantine Anthony and Nicholas Schultz?
Yeah, you can. Okay. That's good. We have our mask on. And I believe, yes, I see Constantine. I,
Nicholas Schultz.
Constantine Anthony. Thank you. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties which I'm about to enter.
I do.
I do.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, members of council. I just want to take a moment as I begin to give a few special thank yous. Madam Mayor, I know that you assumed office certainly not expecting a global, unprecedented pandemic. Your leadership has been exemplary, and I thank you. Thank you personally and on behalf of the community for the tremendous job that you have done. To Vice Mayor Frutos and Councilmember Talamantes, thank you both for the incredibly warm welcome. I look forward to working with you and learning from you and doing the best that we possibly can for the people of Burbank. To former Mayor Gable Luddy and to Councilmember Murphy, thank you for your service to the people of Burbank and for all that you've done over the many years of service and for your leadership in this challenging time. You both are truly role models for myself, and I know that I have big shoes to fill, but I very much look forward to being up to that task. To say that I am humbled and honored to be here today is truly an understatement. Words can't describe how grateful I am to have this opportunity to serve the incredibly compassionate and creative and resilient people of Burbank. I'm deeply touched by the tremendous outpouring of support that I have received from our community. I know that none of us need to look very far to see that there are enormous challenges facing Burbank in the months and years ahead. But I have always lived my life under the belief that to face the seemingly insurmountable problems at hand, you have to roll up your sleeves, approach it with creativity and ingenuity and bold new ideas, and couple that with the grit, resiliency, and determination that Burbankers have. Simply put, I know that our city is up to this task, and it will be an honor to be a small part in working alongside all of you, including staff, in the coming months and years to ensure that we bounce back from this pandemic and that our future remains brighter than ever. We all know that Burbank is facing an unprecedented public health and economic crisis that has hard hit our small businesses, our airport, our entertainment industry, and the working class that depends on these industries for their livelihood. I applaud the prior council for taking the first critical step in articulating an economic recovery plan that will allow us to quickly respond to the ever-changing circumstances and demands of this pandemic. However, we have to ensure, as we move forward, that we are constantly working to create a more fair, more sustainable, and more equitable local economy. We must not only restore what we have lost as a result of this pandemic, we must continue to find new opportunities for everyone who lives and works in Burbank to earn a livable, fair wage that provides benefits that includes health insurance coverage. We are a city born of industriousness and creativity, and in that legacy, we need to be more creative now than we ever have been to help our neighbors find ways to pay the rent or the mortgage, access quality health care and child care, keep their jobs, and save our small businesses. We need to find long-term, lasting solutions to our homelessness problem and our lack of sufficient affordable housing supply. These are issues that have always been challenging, and they're only further complicated by the existence of this pandemic. But together, I know we can do it. To everyone watching at home, these will be my priorities as your member of council. These will be the questions that I ask myself as I rise each day to serve you, and they'll be the thoughts that I reflect upon at the end of each night. I also believe that we have to come to terms with some difficult truths facing our community. We are rightfully proud of the excellent public services that we provide here in Burbank and the selfless and dedicated public servants who perform them. That includes our men and women in uniform. But the results of our most recent elections reveal a mandate by the voters, an invitation for major reforms to community policing and a new way to reimagine what public safety can and should be. In order to do this, we'll need to work together, seeking the input and guidance and participation of everyone. That includes our Burbank Police Department and our officers and the community that they serve. Together, we can make further investments in restorative and preventative justice programs that emphasize treatment and rehabilitation. We can employ methods that keep us safe and keep our officers safe, but that also afford everyone with the dignity and respect that they deserve. We can ensure that Burbank is a place where justice carried out is truly just, and where truth, compassion, and equity reign as our guiding principles. Again, I applaud the prior council for taking the critical first step of passing the Sundown Town resolution last week. In order to change, we have to acknowledge our past. And that includes acknowledging the transgressions against people of color in our community that continues to this day and whose effects continue to this day. But that is not enough. It is critical that we bring new voices to City Hall to lead us on issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion. As your next council member, I promise to prioritize the diversification of our boards and commissions. And while I understand that some of the conversations we are about to have in the coming months and years will be difficult, I truly believe in my heart that we will be better and we will be stronger for having them. We also need to address the climate crisis. It is here, and we cannot rely solely on the fine work of our state and federal legislators to solve this problem. We have to explore local solutions, and in doing so, we will become a regional leader, a powerhouse on the path to climate recovery policies. As a member of this esteemed body, I will work to ensure that we are reducing our greenhouse gas emissions and that we put our utility on track to 100% renewable energy by the end of the decade. Moreover, I will follow the Sustainable Burbank Commission's recommendation in advocating for the creation and retention of a sustainability coordinator for our city. And I will look for every available opportunity to prioritize investments in a transportation infrastructure that provides safe, affordable, and reliable alternatives to driving your car. Admittedly, these won't be easy tasks. But for this little patch of earth that we call Burbank, that we call our home, I firmly believe that we have a moral obligation to protect it, to defend it, and to nurture it. We have to act as environmental stewards to ensure that future generations continue to have clean air to breathe and clean water to drink. As I embark on this next chapter of my life, I commit to each and every one of you that I will remain accessible, transparent, and accountable in every action that I take on your behalf, the people of Burbank. In doing so, I invite you to stay connected with me through any number of means. You can contact me directly, and I'll be happy to add you to my monthly newsletter talking about the work that I'm doing in the community on your behalf. You're also welcome to follow me on any social media account, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Simply follow Councilmember Nick Schultz or use my tag @NickForBurbank. And finally, every single month I will be conducting town halls and community coffee talk events, not just to share what I'm working on behalf of all of you, but to answer your questions, to hear your ideas, and to field your concerns. I hope you'll join me there, and while we'll be hosting these events virtually at first, we do so with the sincere hope that one day very soon we'll be able to get together in person. And finally, in closing, I would like to share the words of our 35th President, John F. Kennedy, who once remarked that there are, quote, risks and costs to action, but they are far less than the long range of risks of comfortable inaction. I believe that these words ring true today. Like all of you, I love Burbank. I love the community spirit, unity, and resolve that makes it such a special place to be. And I'm going to work tirelessly to ensure that our children and our grandchildren inherit a city that is safe, affordable, livable, and sustainable. There's no way around the fact that the next 4 years will be difficult, but I truly believe that together we can, we must, and we will rise to meet that challenge with hard work, innovation, and bold new ideas. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Anthony.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I am so heartened by all the words of everyone who has spoken before me. As a little bit of history, I did run for City Council back in 2017, and I got to know Jess and Bob and Sharon very well on that campaign trail. We disagreed, we had arguments on policy, but we always found a way to walk away from the discussion as friends, and I hope to bring that forward to the next 4 years as well. I look forward to working with the three of you, and I've known Nick for quite some time now, and I'm excited to see him on council as well. With my election, I become the first elected openly autistic elected official west of the Mississippi. It is historic for me to be able to say that. I now join the ranks of Sarah Salvaggi Hernandez in the city of Enfield, Connecticut, and Yuleen Yu of the New York State Assembly, and Jessica Benham from the Pennsylvania State Legislature. I know that my disability rights advocacy in the autism world has led me to a lot of other political spheres, and it's pushed me into advocating for the homeless and for affordable housing. It's gotten me to understand how transportation is a vital infrastructure need for our city and the way we build cities. I am so happy to be the outgoing chair of the Burbank Transportation Commission. I wanted to thank that commission. They did a lot. The other members on that commission helped me understand how to find common ground on policy, to debate, and to harness the cooperation of government to really further benefits for everybody. We put a lot of good work on policy together, and it wasn't always unanimous, and we had a lot of spirited debates. In fact, when I look out into the audience of the council chambers, I'm glad to see Paul McKenna's cardboard cutout there. He's with Barry Gussow and Bugs Bunny, so thank you for putting everyone out there. It's such a rare and unique opportunity to serve as an elected official, and I didn't just get here by happenstance. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank Leadership Burbank. I'm the first graduate of Leadership Burbank to serve on the city council here in Burbank, and that training program was such a inspired and educational step that I needed, and that so many folks that I graduated with and other people who've gone through the program have taken, to just understand how the city works, how local government works, how our institutions in the city work, our hospitals, our big businesses, the infrastructure of the city, the airport. It's such a great program, and I highly recommend it to everybody who wants to get involved in helping their community. And just lastly, I wanted to thank the one person who did the most work to get me this election, my newly engaged fiance, Margot Rauter, who served as my campaign manager and did a bunch of work. She's actually here with me. Which is why I'm at home and not there. She was not able to be involved in the program at the city hall, so city staff has worked with me to be here at home remotely, so able to hang out with her during this. I look forward to working with everybody. It is a time of recovery. We have so many things that we need to do. Tomorrow night is our first meeting together, and it's time to just get to work. The campaign is over. There were things said, there were things done. We need to put all that in the past. It's time to come together and help the city, the citizens of Burbank, and the residents who live and work here, and that is my goal. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your comments. Vice Mayor Frutos, Councilmember Talamantes, please join me in congratulating City Treasurer Palmer and new council members Anthony and Schultz. Congratulations. Are there any comments, Vice Mayor Frutos? I need you to unmute, please.
Do you hear me now?
Yes.
You hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
I want to congratulate and welcome Councilmember Anthony and Councilmember Schultz. You've got a steep learning curve in your first year. I definitely would like to be a mentor, an educator. I make myself available to both of you. You worked hard. You got elected. And just like you said, Councilmember Anthony, let's roll up our sleeves. The time to go to work. Let's work now. I'm going to be looking forward in the discussions to see your perspectives. But most important, I give you my commitment. Let's be tough on the agenda. Win or lose, it doesn't matter, because I know the next agenda, we can collaborate and work together. But I ask just for honesty and integrity in the discussions. Be passionate. Let's put politics aside, but let's put the people of Burbank first to move our city forward. Welcome aboard. Looking forward to our first meeting tomorrow, and congratulations, guys. Congratulations. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Frutos. Yes, Councilmember Talamantes.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Welcome aboard, Councilmember Anthony and Councilmember Schultz. I've got to learn to start doing that now. But anyway, yeah, you guys did a great job on your campaigns. Having run a couple campaigns, I know it's difficult, and as well as when you're encouraging others to assist you, to give you some support along the campaign trail, you just don't know what to expect. But the end result, you did the best of all the candidates, and I'd like to welcome you to the dais with us and be part of our team. I look forward to the interaction from both of you in regards to putting things on the table for discussion. And I'm open. You know, if you have a better idea, let's put it on the table, let's discuss it. Obviously, my mind is not shut when I'm dealing with agenda items. But just remember that I'm here for you. If you wish to discuss anything, I'm more than happy. My door is open, and we'll move forward together as a team. Welcome aboard, both of you.
Thank you, Councilmember Talamantes. Welcome and congratulations. And I look forward to working together on furthering the benefit to our Burbank community. We do have a lot of work and challenges ahead of us, and I'm up for it. I think we all are. So thank you very much and congratulations. Now is the time prescribed by the city charter for the reorganization of the city council. Motions for the selection of mayor and vice mayor are needed. Is there a motion to select a mayor? Yes, Councilmember Talamantes.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor, I'd like to nominate Vice Mayor Bob Frutos to step into your large shoes that you've prepared for him.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. So, can you please take the vote?
Thank you. Okay, let me see if I can get all the names straight now, since I'm used to the older way. So Councilmember Talamantes,
Yes.
Councilmember Schultz,
Yes.
and we have Vice Mayor Frutos. Now he's the mayor.
Yes.
And Mayor Springer.
Yes.
Thank you. And I forgot Councilmember Anthony. Hello.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, congratulations to Vice Mayor Frutos on being elected our new mayor. Right, welcome.
Hey, can we do the audience? Can we do the audience? While they're doing the switching, can we do the audience? Or is that, oh, God. Oh, thank you. I want to show the audience. You got it. Congratulations. Thank you. Wherever you like, you tell me. Okay, I'll do it up at the chair. Got it.
I'm here. You just can't see me if you're waiting on me.
Good afternoon. I am so honored and humbled to serve as your mayor, and I want to thank my colleagues and our two newest council members for seconding the motion. But most important, thank you for your trust and support. To my colleagues, Councilmember Emily Gabaletti and Tim Murphy, it was an honor working with you. We've accomplished so many great things together, and we did so because we are a team based on professionalism and not politics. We were creative, hardworking, open-minded, and most important, inclusive. There were times we felt passionate about an agenda item, but we also compromised for the good of the city. I would like to acknowledge their spouses and thank them as well, Bill and Gloria. Thank you. I definitely, from the bottom of my heart, welcome our two new council members, Councilmember Nick Schultz and Councilmember Constantine Anthony. You guys worked very hard, and the people have spoken. Congratulations and welcome aboard. And for us as a council of five, as we work through this COVID-19 and work on our very important issues for our residents, I have a very good feeling in my heart about the things we can accomplish working together as a team. It is unfortunate that we were unable to meet in person, but we did have to kind of think outside the box for this council reorganization as we meet virtually. And like Constantine Anthony already saw, Bugs Bunny was in the audience. So we've invited a few special guests. Mr. City Manager, I see that we have our special guests in the council chamber today. Can we have the camera look at our folks in the audience, please? Cool. In our audience, it is full, and I want to acknowledge some of our very special guests here today. We have some also exceptional community members from our city. Up in the front next to Bugs Bunny, the McKenna family. The Barry Gusau family is in back of Bugs Bunny. The Wirtz family is next to Martin the Martian, and the Ramos family. They got Daffy Duck. Oh, and I see in the back Tweety Bird and Sylvester the cat. I want to thank Warner Brothers for always being there for the city. Thank you so much. And we also have friends from our Burbank Unified School District because they are our partners in our community. Miss Peggy Flynn is in the audience. Thanks for being here. And especially with the COVID-19 and everything that's going on in our city, we have folks from Providence St. Joseph Medical Center representing the chambers with some of their employees and community members, including Mr. Terry Walker and Jane Winter. Thanks for being here. We also have a number of folks from Family Service Agency board members and some of their employees and their supporters, including Christine Ramos, Chris Korn, and Terry Stein. And most important, again, thank you so much for Warner Brothers for participating by allowing a special candid visit from Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Tweety Bird, Sylvester the cat, and obviously Marvin the Martian. I welcome everybody to this meeting. Thank you for attending the reorganization meeting. A little bit long today, but we've got some very special folks in attendance. And to our audience watching from home, thank you so much for tuning in. To my colleagues, I'll keep this short. I know the road ahead of us will be most difficult in modern history to serve on any council. Our local economy is challenged and is hurting like so many other cities across our nation. We're just beginning to see the economic devastation of a sort that we haven't really seen since the Great Depression. Look at how many people are unemployed, how many people don't know the certainty of their next meal, or the very most important is their housing. We are faced with these economic shortfalls that will force us to make tough decisions like never before as we continue to move our city forward for the benefit of its people. Our residents today are fatigued. Some are frustrated with the long COVID-19 winter ahead of us. Come this April, it's already going to be 1 year, but it was on the radar last December. And some are really experiencing anxiety of this situation. Our top priority will be maintaining the fiscal health of our city and to continue to work on the economic recovery of our city. Together, we got to work together to aggressively restart the economic engine of the city of Burbank. I really believe that when we come together, the five of us, our strength, our leadership, our economic base of the city, the tourism, will address the financial challenges of our residents, because they will face this as a result of this COVID-19. And our city must continue to provide the resources for businesses in our city, and most important, our residents. Council members, colleagues of mine, having said that, I believe the current and ongoing fiscal situation to be our top priority as we will continue to work on other existing city council goals, such as we've already discussed earlier: affordable housing, traffic, quality of life, planning, and sustainability. I believe it is important to continue and ensure as we work hard on the homeless crisis as well. We need to continue to provide the city services our residents have come to expect. Our residents expect us to continue to keep our city clean and safe. Both our police and fire chiefs and the men and women of both departments deserve the best because they provide great services to our community. They too have been forced and faced with many new challenges, and we must thank them for thinking outside the box and keeping us safe. I want to take a moment to thank our economic development team, as they have been hardworking, and they are doing an outstanding job. As some of you already know, in May, Council approved the City of Burbank's Economic Recovery Plan to mitigate the situation created by the pandemic, with the goal to revive Burbank's economy, which prior to the pandemic was thriving and robust. As an example of their hard work, staff was proactive and responded to my request as the vice mayor to consider a potential town hall meeting with the Magnolia Park merchants. But due to the increasing because of the increasing turnover and closure of shops in that neighborhood, and Council Member Anthony was there in the trenches working on that. Staff took an active role, and they engaged with them to facilitate greater support and an ongoing funding source. This is in addition to ongoing city support for Magnolia Park merchants, which includes numerous marketing materials, campaigns, and funds allocated annually in the small business assistance. Staff has also been actively working with the downtown Burbank merchants and other essential businesses. My colleagues, we have the opportunity to bring our community members together and provide support for our residents and businesses. And again, I have to echo a very special thanks to our community business partner, Warner Brothers, for always being there for our city and being such a great corporate sponsor of our profits, nonprofits throughout the city. With providing today's special guest, who would ever think Bugs Bunny would be attending a council reorg? But I wanted to make this virtual meeting, like Councilmember Anthony said, a little bit more fun. So I want to thank FSA, the Executive Director, Lori Blake, for providing the photo cuts of just a few of the FSA supporters in our audience. And finally, to my colleagues, there's a road ahead of us, a tough road. So let's remember, we are human, and a little laughter goes a long way. Thank you. And that's all, folks. And that's all, folks. Now, I move that, now, as I begin my term as mayor, I'd like to entertain the motion to select a vice mayor. Councilmember Anthony.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations on becoming the mayor of Burbank. I love it. This is your second time, I believe, yes?
Yes, sir.
There has been a lot of changes recently. 2 new council members. In fact, I couldn't find the most recent time in Burbank history where there were 2 new elected members to the city council on the same day. We're getting a new president in January. I think a little bit of familiarity, a little bit of experience would go a long way. So, Jess, if it's all right with you, I would like to nominate Councilmember Talamantes for vice mayor for the city of Burbank.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Councilmember Nick Schultz. Madam City Clerk, can you please call for the vote if there's any discussion on the item? Seeing not, Madam City Clerk, can you please call the vote?
Thank you. Councilmember Anthony?
Yes.
Councilmember Schultz?
Yes.
Councilmember Springer?
Yes.
Councilmember Talamantes?
Yes.
Mayor Frutos?
Thank you, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you.
Yes. Congratulations, Vice Mayor Talamantes, on being appointed as our new vice mayor. I'd like to turn over the mic to you for a few words, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, council members. Thank you, Councilmember Anthony and Councilmember Schultz, and the entire council for your vote of support. Looking forward to serving with the entire council as we move forward for the betterment of Burbank. I know there's going to be a lot of issues that we have to discuss. We've been going through some crazy times for the past 9-10 months. And I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. It's getting better, but we still have to address these problems these challenges that we're going through right now. So once again, thank you very much. I look forward to working with the 4 of you and the residents of the community. Hang in there. There will be an end to this pandemic, and we will be back to a new normal. So once again, thank you very much, and I'm honored to serve as vice mayor along with Mayor Frutos. Thank you.
Any other council member would like to weigh in and congratulate the vice mayor? Council member Sharon Springer.
Yes, congratulations to both of you. Thank you very much, and congratulations, and thank you for your service in the future and in the past. And I look forward to working with all of us and accomplishing our goals that we set in the very near future. Congratulations.
Vice Mayor, go ahead, Councilmember Nick Schultz.
Thank you very much, Mayor Frutos. I'll make it brief. I just wanted to echo the comments of my colleague, Mr. Anthony, and congratulating both of you. I think that it'll be good to have experience and a steady hand guiding the way, and I really do look forward to working with you. We may disagree on some points, but I also think there's a lot of common ground to be had. So congratulations to you both.
Vice Mayor, congratulations. I'm looking forward to working collaboratively together. I do ask that, like you did with me, take our 2 new council members under the wing and explain to them and get them involved with the League of California Cities, as you're a valuable resource to the community. But definitely welcome, congratulations, and moving right along. The City Council appreciates everybody's presence at the 2020 Council Reorganization meeting. This is a very special meeting for all of us. As you know, the council meets in regular session Tuesday nights at 6 p.m., and the public is always welcome to tune in. And I'm looking forward to having live people in our audience sometime during my mayorship, I hope. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned to Tuesday, December the 15th, tomorrow, for a regular meeting via teleconference. And again, that's all, folks. I now adjourn the meeting.